It all comes back to money.
This is the Keeping Your Money Show with Jamie Westenberger and Bart Steindler.
All right, welcome back to Keeping Your Money Show. Jamie Westenberger, joined as always by Bart Steindler. If you're just tuning in or you've been listening the whole time, we're talking about Aretha Franklin and how many celebrities, unfortunately, out there that really do die without estate planning. I mean, some of the names were blowing my mind, you know. I mean, Prince and, you know.
Abraham Lincoln.
You know, he was a lawyer, for God's sakes.
Yeah. President of the United States, you know, kind of got us through the hate of the Civil War, but couldn't find time to do it well.
I mean, I guess, you know, he did die under, you know, less than perfect circumstances, so maybe he just wasn't quite ready. I don't know, but if you miss any part of the show, though, you can always find it on our website. Just go to keepingyourmoney.com. So, news out of the technology world this week. Wealth Management Magazine telling us that Jpmorgan is now going to start offering a digital investing service with free and discounted trades. The move will make the bank more competitive with discount brokerages that are out there. And, you know, it's funny to me, this idea. You know, it kind of feels like we've made this exodus over the last 40 years or so, right? From where if you had some investing, good for you, but you got a pension at work and you're going to be able to retire comfortably between that and Social Security, right? And then we kind of saw the erosion of pensions, and even the ones that still exist are highly underfunded, and many of them in very big financial trouble, to the idea that you had to invest all yourself. You had to get your money in your 401k. You got to save this nest egg of, you know, 1 point whatever $million, and that's how you're going to retire. And now we're also seeing this switch to, well, I shouldn't have to pay for anything. And, you know, the danger in this race to the bottom as far as cost goes is, and many times, it's also a race to the bottom in what you're receiving, you know.
Right.
And I thought it would be interesting because a lot of times, and I've got no problem saying, look, we charge, you know, 1% to manage assets. Sometimes 1.25%. Depends on what the assets are that come in, right? And how much somebody has to invest, because we have costs involved in running our business, you know. And we were doing the numbers earlier, Bart, and I was saying, you know, if your advisor manages $50 million of assets, average account size is probably $250,000. So he's going to have about 200 client families. Now, each of those families is going to have a couple accounts, generally speaking. So, you know, he's probably running about 800 to 1,000 accounts for that. If you think about a 48-week work, you know, year, 40 hours a week, you know, you got about 1,600 and some change as far as hours go there.
You got to meet with the clients at least once a year.
Got to meet with the client once a year. So that's 4 clients a week.
Plus there's phone calls. And plus there's, like, you know, things that mature, and then you have to call them up and let them know what you're doing. And
right.
You know, so
I mean, that's a pretty reasonable load. I mean, any more clients than that, and, you know, that would be quite a bit if you didn't have a significant staff, right?
Right.
So that advisor, we'll call her Karen, has these clients. She's charging 1%. So, you know, somebody would say, well, she's making $500,000 a year. I mean, that's pretty good, right? And gross, that's a really attractive number.
Right.
But keep in mind, her compliance department peels off about 10%. She's got to pay staff, right? She's got to, at least at a minimum, have a competent assistant. So that competent assistant's going to run, you know, a salary, taxes, FICA, all of those things. She's going to have to pay for liability insurance. She's got to pay for E&O insurance. She's got to pay for all of her state and federal registrations, which are thousands of dollars a year.
Yep.
Continuing education, thousands of dollars every couple years. Due diligence, research into the managers that she's using.
Right. Compliance, traveling expenses.
And you might say travel for what? But many times we travel to meet with the companies we're choosing to use for our clients. We want to see where they're at, where they're located, their home office, who their staff is.
You know, we'll go to meetings where there'll be, you know, different different money managers, and they're all, giving presentations, and then, you get to know them better. You get to know their different styles. But, if we don't go and get to know these people, we don't feel comfortable using them to manage our clients' money. Computer security is a big expense.
Yeah, I mean, look at our IT budget alone. We pay a company $1,000 a month to oversee our network, to make sure our network is secure, that all the patches are done to our computer systems, that our hard drives are encrypted, all of these things to protect our clients' data and information, to make sure that it's not,
On top of that, we pay a technology fee to our broker-dealer. We have to purchase the hardware. And we have to also, there's different software programs we use for analyzing portfolios and for doing projections and for giving our clients online access and that type of thing. So those are all software programs, and we pay for those also.
So the key here is, when you look at a fee, I think we need to stop looking, and this isn't a boohoo, cry me a river type of thing. I mean, Bart and I do fine for ourselves, but a lot of times when somebody says, boy, 1%. Oh, geez, that's a lot. So-and-so only charges 0.75%. Well, I would challenge you that so-and-so doesn't offer a full service. He or she doesn't have estate planning attorney, insurance agent, CPA, a mortgage broker, health insurance. Like, they don't have those things at your fingertips like we do, and like a lot of other companies do. And when you're trying to decide on fee, be careful not to just decide on what that number is. And I think a great analogy for that is the airline industry. We have seen a race ever since Southwest came on the market, and I'm not bashing Southwest. I think they've done a great thing for bringing airfare prices down, but it has eroded the quality of airfare because the big boys have tried to compete with Southwest on costs, and in doing so have absolutely ruined air travel. To the point of, in order to get that cheap seat, we see people fighting on airlines because we're crammed in like sardines. We're treated horribly. We can't carry our luggage on, or we have to, or whatever. And
it's ridiculous. I mean, you get to the point where it's so complicated. There is a airline that bills itself as an economy airline, and I was looking to take a flight to Phoenix, and this particular airline goes there. So I went on their site, and it took me literally 45 minutes to get through the whole maze of thing. And, do you want this? And this is at that price, and that's at that price. And I finally think I'm at the end. I'm going, wow, this is really good. And then it tells you to select the seat. Well, all of those fees and charges up to that point, they did not include the seat. Okay? So I'm like, You got to be kidding me. I mean, my ticket should include the seat.
Right.
But
you
no.
would think that would be a basic concept.
No, it doesn't. So all of a sudden there's like a, 100 or 150 extra for the seat. And even if you're going on one of the major airlines, it's this is your price, but if you want to have one of the better seats,
or even if you want to
extra.
choose your seat, a lot of times it's like, if you don't let us choose it, then you're going to pay more.
Right. And now one of the airlines that, has the A, B, C, D when you get on the plane and everybody selects their own seat. Now they're increasing the amount of money they charge if you want to pay to get up more, further up in the line so that you get a better seat when you get on the plane.
And I think the point of it is there are places for cheap, right? Even in our industry, I will say there are places for cheap. If you want to go out and buy 10 shares of a stock, because you just want to buy that stock, and you have an account like one of these that's free or really cheap trades or whatever, then use it. I mean, absolutely. But if you're using that for your main investment platform, I think you're missing out on a lot of services. You're taking on the responsibility of knowing everything you're supposed to do in getting ready for retirement. And you can't compare full service with self-service. You just can't. And I think instead of asking ourselves, what is the fee, and analyzing it based purely on what the fee is, I think the real question we need to start asking ourselves, and maybe it's not just of financial advisors, maybe it's attorneys, it's CPAs, it's a lot of professional services. What am I getting for the fee? Is that a fair fee for what I'm receiving? if my advisor calls me once every 5 years or whenever I call him and he puts me in just some basic indexes and never touches it, then I would agree with you that if you're paying 1%, you should be asking for a discount, right?
Yep.
But if your advisor is proactively managing your retirement to make sure that you have an income plan when you retire, I don't know. I think you need to really reassess whether that's too high, because I think in many instances it may even be too low.
Right.
And that's the real deal on that. So, all right, coming up, we're going to talk about 10 commandments when it comes to retirement right here on the Keeping Your Money Show.
The ups and downs of a roller coaster are fun for some people, but maybe too nerve-wracking for others. The same is true for the ups and downs of the stock market. If your palms sweat when the market fluctuates, it may be time to reevaluate your investment choices. The ride to your financial future shouldn't keep you awake at night. Call the Keeping Your Money Show at 1-888-98-MONEY to get off the roller coaster and onto solid ground.